Hey, check me out, check me out, check me out. Listen, man, what I came to learn is that the hardest thing that happens is when you have to transition to a new life, into a new version of yourself. Really, to be honest. I've learned that we do things out of spite of fear, out of spite of trying to figure things out of spite of not knowing what the outcome would be. But here's the thing. October 28th, 2019, I joined the Marine Corps. And when I joined the Marine Corps, I did not know what I was getting myself into. And before I joined, I wish I would have known a lot more than I know now. So this video is kind of like 7 things that I wish I would have known coming into the military, coming into the Marine Corps. Because even before I joined, every time I told somebody I was joining the Marine Corps, they was like, oh man, you crazy. Oh man, you joining the elite fighters forces, you know. It was always something like you're joining the greatest military institution there is. But they never told me what I would get out of it. So this video is to say the things that you would get out, what I got out of the military just by me joining, me doing my time, me learning more, and me going through the whole phase. I wish I would have known more and understood what I was getting myself into. First thing first, first lesson, first thing I wish I would have known is that we have to embrace the suck. They say this all the time. Embrace the suck, embrace the suck, embrace the suck, embrace the suck. I did not understand what this meant. It means when things are hard, we have to understand that it's going to get better, right? It's not going to get better right at the moment, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end all be all. But what it is, it's a moment of realizing that you have to go through this in order to finish this product, in order to finish the mission, in order to finish and accomplish what you need to accomplish. For instance, school, the training, let me see what else, and anything that you have to do in that realm, right? So first thing first, embrace this up. That transitions to life simply because things are hard. Things are hard. By things being hard, we have to embrace the suck. We have to understand it's hard for this moment, but it's not going to end. It's hard for this moment, but it's here to teach us a lesson. These moments that are hard, what is the lesson behind it? If I would have known to understand you always gonna learn something when the moments are hard, I would have. I can't say what I would have done, but I guess I would have been more open and more cognitive of it when it occurred. The next thing I learned is that it takes a team. The military is a family-oriented institution, which means that you're going to meet a lot of people, and when you meet a lot of people, you find who you connect with, and who you connect with, those are the people that you build a long-term relationship with. See, these long-term relationships last a long time, meaning they become your family. For instance, the people that I got close with, Graham, Hanaya, Dylan Knudsen, it's so many people. It's a plethora of people that I became close to. Ethan Pesdart. It's so many people that I can't even. I don't want to not mention anybody because I can't remember all of them. But the thing about a family-oriented institution is that we're all doing the same thing. We're all embracing the suck at the same time. There's not one individual that didn't go through what we went through in order to get to the stage that we're at today. For instance, boot camp. You have to go through boot camp in order to become a Marine, or to become a part of any military institution. You have to go to boot camp. You have to. That's an inevitable process that we all have to go through. We all have to go to school. We all have to get educated in our MOS, in our job, in order to say we're confident in doing this. The process is long. But when you have people that you have a relationship with, it makes it easier. It makes it more attainable, because now as you're going through it, they're going through it as well. So how this transition to life is that if you have people around you that want the best for you, it's gonna be okay. It's not the first lesson. You have to embrace the suck. when you have people that's embracing the suck with you, it becomes easier. It becomes easier. It's not, you cannot bypass it. However, it becomes easier because you have people that understand what you're going through. Right? So this everything that I learned throughout my whole time in the military transitioned to the next phase of life. The third thing that I learned is to always be present. Me, myself, I wasn't always present, right? I wanted to skate. I wanted to get out of things that I didn't really like. I mean, I did, but I missed the whole point of it, right? Understanding when you go to the field, you're doing this to learn more about your job, and you're learning more about who you are. You learn more about your team environment. See, we have a job, but in order to fulfill the job, everybody has to do their job. So when I learned that, I'm like, oh, that's the whole point of it. But I've also learned to start working on myself as well. So it correlates with each other, but I was being selfish at the time because I didn't put my team first. But since I didn't know who I was, I had to put myself first in order to learn who I was, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to become, and then start helping the team. This transition translates to life simply because if you don't work on yourself, you can't bring no value to the marketplace. Simply because you have nothing to offer. I didn't have nothing to offer. I wasn't really educated like I needed to be because I didn't know myself. But I took the time to learn myself. I took the time to understand everything. I took the time to say, this is who I am. This is why. How can I help? How can I bring value? Realizing that, learning that translates to life. I can't bring value to the marketplace if I don't work on myself. I've been working on myself for the last 2 years, still working on myself, but I've grew so much. I understand what I have to offer, what I have to bring, and who I can help. The next lesson that I learned was to know when to be quiet. Know when to not argue. Know when to put your ego aside and your pride aside and to say, is it worth it? In the military, when we get into an argument, when we get into a heated disagreement, you would never win. Moral of the story, you would never win an argument with whoever you're arguing with, simply because it's pointless. We all have ego, we all have pride, we all have feelings, but I didn't know how to work with that. In the military, you can't win that. You can't win that situation. In the military, you have to pick and choose your battles. Having ego and pride, it brings a lot of negative energy to you, to your atmosphere, to your workspace, to everything that you're doing and got going on. What I came to learn about ego and being prideful is that it's not needed. It is not needed. It's hard to understand and to say, let me let go. Let me let go of this hurt just because I want to prove a point. But in reality, what point are you actually proving, right? A lot of times, what I came to learn that how they transition to life is that if you're so egotistical, if you're so prideful, you can't work with nobody, right? Don't nobody want to work with you. Don't nobody want to work with you just because you always got something to say or it's your way or no way. But when you start to realize and start to learn more about yourself, you start to pick your battles. I've had to pick my battles. What do I want to give my energy to? What don't I want to give my energy to? See, that level of understanding shows how much I grew. But see, that's what I'm saying. The military, it taught me so much without me even knowing subconsciously that it correlates with life, right? The next point number 5, is to always give back what you know. Meaning, by me, and when I first came in the military, got to my duty station, I was a new person. Me and a couple people that was there, we were new. We didn't know the way, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know the ropes of the military, even understood it. It took people that were experienced in order that it took people that were experienced that taught us how everything worked. By everything, I'm talking about how the job works, how the day works, how to work on cars, how you doing, how to just be present in everything that you're doing. See, how that correlates with life is if you don't know what you're doing, you have to get around people that's really experienced it as something that you want to do. I couldn't figure out for the life of me. I couldn't figure out why the military was so hard. The military wasn't hard, but it made it hard because mentally I wasn't there. Mentally I didn't understand. Mentally I just was checked out. But here's the thing: once I started to learn that I have to do this to better myself, but I had to learn why I'm doing this. The job, I had to learn a job. My job in the military was motor transportation operator. And I was just driving trucks. But I had to understand how to properly walk through the process of, is this truck good? Is the truck bad? What's wrong with the truck? Identify the small discrepancies, right? Attention to detail. The Marine Corps is a very detail-oriented institution. What does this mean? It means they are very profound with the small details that everyone often overlooks. It's annoying. Don't get me wrong. It is annoying. But it helps you. It helps you be on point. It helps you stand out from any and everybody. We had to get a haircut every week. Nothing wrong with getting a haircut. Nothing wrong with being presentable. But what I didn't understand is that when you're presentable, you're respected more. And when you're respected more, people want to have a conversation with you. People want to be in your presence. People just want to, see what you're talking about. The thing about learning something and then passing on what you learn, it grows because more people are coming behind you, which means that you're becoming experienced. And these new people that's behind you are coming into the military institution or whatever the case is. What I learned, each one teach one. If I didn't come in and learn the ropes, I wouldn't be able to teach the ropes that I was taught, right? In life, we have to put ourselves in situations that forces us to teach what we need to learn, right? To learn what we don't know. The more we learn, the more we grow. The more we grow, the more we can help. The more we help, the more we can build something. The more we build something, we create something for ourselves. Right? Each one teach one is the lesson that I learned for number 5. Number 6, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Rank in the military. Rank is power. When you don't have power, you don't have control. When you don't have control, you're trying to find it. What I learned coming in, I saw how things worked out. The more experience you are, the more rank you pick up. The more rank you pick up, the more power you have. The more power you have, the more people respect you. If you don't have respect, you have rank with no respect. Why is this so important? Why is this so important? I've learned that everyone is not brought up the same, which means they handle power differently. They handle the rank differently. They handle the responsibility that was given to them differently. That is okay. But each leader operates in their own way. And by leader, I'm talking about individual. By individual, I'm talking about person. By person, I'm talking about someone that knows themselves or assume to know themselves. Leadership and power go hand in hand, because if you misuse it, people will either respect you or dislike you. When I picked up rank, I always stay true to myself. I told everybody, man, when I pick up E4, why do I need to change? There's no point in me changing, because it's not gonna do nothing. My homeboy Campione, he asked me a question. He said, Hump, man, I got a question, bro. I said, what's up? He said, do you think rank change people? Or do you think power change people? My answer was, it doesn't change people. It enhances who you are. And it enhances how you treat people. It took me a long time to understand power comes from all walks of life. It's not just about rank. It's not just about money. It's not just about respect. It's about your presence and how you treat people, right? Power is something that is misconstrued simply because we don't understand it. Once I learned that power comes in all variations of life, now I start to approach it differently. Now, don't get me wrong. I always treated people with the utmost respect. I'm going to always do that. I respect people. I respect who they are. But people sometimes don't respect who I am. Right? If that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense. I've learned I can't expect anyone to treat me how I treat them. Meaning, by me being true to myself, by me being honest with myself, I'm doing this because this is who I am. My morals and principles, my standard of life, this is who I am. I can help it. I love helping people. I love putting a smile on everybody's face. But the thing about that is that sometimes a lot of people take your niceness for granted. And what this is insinuate is that I should treat people how they treat me. Nah, be the bigger person. Be the bigger person and learn yourself and be yourself no matter what. That's what I learned. Number 6, that was a vital one. Be yourself no matter what rank you are, no matter how much power you have. If you have no power, if you have some power or if you have no power, be yourself no matter what. Number 7, last and most important lesson that I've learned. Number 7, always have a plan. Sometimes we get caught in the moment and forget about the plans that's coming. That is okay. Here's what happened. The plans and it get lost. The plans that we want to develop, we don't know how to develop it because we didn't put that time in to do it. But when I started to develop myself and started to have a plan for what I wanted to do, things started to change. In the military, you have to do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it. There's no gimmicks behind it. You just have to do it. But once that's completed, what's the next move? What's the next plan? What's the next, situation? It took time. It took time. I've learned that a lot of people don't plan for the future because we're so caught up in today. Why am I changing that? Why is that even a valuable lesson? Simply because I knew for my future, I knew for myself, I wanted something more. I didn't know how I was going to get it. I don't know how I was going to find it, but I knew something was going to come from this. What? I don't know. But I was planning ahead. The military taught me to plan ahead rather than just being present today. You feel me? So you have to understand yourself and find a way to plan for the success that you want, so that way you can have the life that you desire. To recap, first lesson, you have to embrace the suck. The next lesson is that it takes a team. The third thing that I learned was to always be present. The fourth lesson that I learned was to learn more about who you are. Learn about yourself. The fifth lesson that I learned was to learn how to be quiet. Learn when to say nothing. The next lesson is to always give back what you know. The next lesson, the most vital one, is that you have to be true to yourself no matter what. This is a bonus. I know I said 7, but this is number 8. This one right here is going to help you plan for your future. Most and last important lesson that I've learned, that's why it's a bonus, is to always have a plan for yourself. Always have a plan and plan for worst case scenarios. Because you never want to get in a situation to where you're just present today and not planning for the future. So hopefully you enjoy the lessons that I've learned and things that I wish people would have told me or really informed me on. But what I've really learned is that the lessons that I endured, a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to tell me that, right? So I had to deal with it myself, go through it myself and actually learn. So if you actually got value from this and you want to watch more, click this video right here and stay tuned.